You found something that doesn't belong to you. What do you do next? It could be money, a phone, or a wallet. Perhaps it's a piece of jewelry or even a car keys. You found an item that has been lost, and now the owner is not here to collect it. So what do you do with it? This will show people who you truly are. In this situation, many would say to call the police and let them handle it. They can locate the owner, so why bother trying yourself? Well, if you choose to call the police, you are making a good choice. But you might not get everything you deserve. Calling the authorities immediately when you find someone else's lost property is considered the most ethical thing to do. Doing so puts the odds in your favor to be named an honest person, one who won't take advantage of another person's misfortune. But how does this work exactly? And what should you tell them? Do you have to go to the police station and fill out some paperwork? How long do you have to wait until they get back to you? No need to worry, because these are things we will talk about today. The first thing you want to do is call the local non-emergency police number. If the item you found is a weapon, like a gun or a knife, then you must contact the police immediately. If it is a small item, such as jewelry, you may be able to turn it into a local pawn shop without too much trouble. However, if you find something valuable like cash, you should contact the authorities. Depending on where you live, there may be a local lost and found office where you can turn over the item for safekeeping. Be sure to ask the officer which office is responsible for the type of item you found. In addition, if you don't have a phone, you may need to look up the local police station and go there in person. Some people may suggest waiting a few days before contacting the authorities in hopes that the owner returns to claim their item. While understandable, this approach can cause more problems than it solves. For example, if the item is perishable or needs to be refrigerated, it could spoil before the owner returns. Additionally, if you accidentally break the item while trying to preserve it, you could be held liable. Moreover, if someone else finds the same item and turns it into the police, you might get in trouble for failing to report it promptly. The best course of action is to contact the police right away, even if the item is not perishable. That way you won't have to worry about it spoiling or breaking. Plus, you won't have to deal with any potential legal issues if someone else reports finding it before you do. If you find a lost wallet, purse, or other personal item, you should take the following steps. First, do not open it or take anything out. Then call the police and explain what you found and where you found it. Once you've located the owner, you can return their belongings. It's important not to keep anything that doesn't belong to you, even if you think it's just a harmless prank. Doing so is stealing and can land you in jail. Also, be prepared to answer questions from the police about the item and where you found it. They may ask you to describe the item and its contents to ensure that you have the right one. Finally, be patient. It may take some time for the police to track down the owner of the lost item. It's also worth noting that if the lost item contains any sensitive information, such as a social security card or driver's license, you should take extra care to protect it. You can cover the numbers on the card with tape or paper and refrain from taking any pictures of it. When dealing with law enforcement, honesty is always the best policy. If you found an item but didn't report it right away, admit it when asked. Trying to hide it could make the situation worse. If the owner of the lost item decides to press charges against you, you could end up in jail. So it's always best to come clean and cooperate with the police. So now that you know what to do, the question is, what should you say? Here's a helpful tip. When calling the police, you can refer to the item in a generic way to avoid giving any hints as to what you actually found. For instance, instead of saying, "I found a wallet," try, "I found a personal item." By being vague, you won't inadvertently tip off anyone who might be looking for the item. Additionally, if you found the item at a public place like a store, you can mention that you turned the item into the manager. This way, if the owner calls the store looking for their item, they'll know that you did the right thing by contacting the police. Ultimately, it's best to be as detailed as possible when describing the item and where you found it. This will help the police quickly identify the owner and return their property. It can be difficult to know what to say when reporting a found item to the police. After all, you want to provide enough information for them to understand the situation, but you don't want to give away any details that could compromise your safety or the security of the item. Fortunately, there are some simple guidelines you can follow to ensure you provide the necessary information without revealing too much. When reporting a found item, start by providing your own details, including your name, contact information, and current location. This allows the police to verify your identity and get in touch with you if needed. Next, briefly explain what you found, including any identifying features or unique characteristics. This helps the police assess the situation and determine the appropriate course of action. It also gives them some context for the item and helps them to prioritize it appropriately. For example, if you found a lost cell phone, you might mention the brand and model, while a lost wallet could be described by its size and color. Be sure to include the exact location where you found the item. This information can be crucial for the police, as it may help them narrow down the search for the owner. Additionally, providing landmarks or nearby businesses can help them locate the exact spot where the item was found. It's important to remain calm and polite throughout the call. The police are there to help and provide assistance. Being respectful and cooperative can go a long way in ensuring a positive interaction. Remember, the primary goal is to reunite the lost item with its owner. By following these guidelines, you can help the police to achieve that goal while also protecting yourself and the item. Finding a lost item can be an unfortunate experience for both the owner and the finder. As a finder, it is natural to feel a sense of unease or even fear that something bad might happen if the item is not returned. However, it is important to remember that the right thing to do is to report the found item to the police, even if the owner is not present. Doing so ensures that the item has the best chance of being returned to its rightful owner and prevents any potential complications or misunderstandings. Although it may be tempting to try to find the owner yourself, doing so can be risky and may not always be successful. The police have the resources and expertise to locate the owner and handle any potential issues that arise, allowing you to move on without worry. By taking the right steps and reporting the found item to the police, you can ensure that the situation is handled properly and that everyone involved can move forward with peace of mind. Now it is time for you to tell us about a time when you found something that didn't belong to you. Did you turn it in to the authorities? We'd love to hear your story in the comments below. And don't forget to like this video for more helpful tips.